channels for all post-game interviews. Hopefully it'll be a fun one after today. In front, another opportunity. Blue Devils up 7-3. Nice stick check there, though. Saints get it back, but then run into traffic, run into contact. Foul called. Patterson claiming that she was just ran into there, which it did look like. Nonetheless, it'll be Siena Heights ball. Applying the pressure here and doing it nicely. Looks like a bit over-aggressive. It's going to be a yellow card, I guess, on Patterson. Maybe a bit of frustration there after she felt she was ran into. Not a man-up situation, though. Yes, they will say it is going to be a man-up situation. Patterson heading over in front of the scorer's table. So this will be a 2-minute releasable offense to Patterson, but here are the Blue Devils shorthanded. Some opportunities ahead. Vang moving to the left corner, backing it up here, though. Killing off this man-up opportunity. Controlling is Gabby Larkin. .650 to go in this opening half. Patterson at the scorer's table on the releasable penalty. Looks like a slash. Now Patterson, or Sherry rather, will move it over to Vang. And the Minnesota native will flip it behind the net. Over to Sherry. Blue Devils obviously not facing much pressure on this man-up opportunity for Siena Heights right now. Still 63 seconds to pretty much play pitch and catch. Gagnon at the top. Such an excellent ball handler. Nifty move there. Over to Sherry. Vang. Now to Larkin. Moving it around nicely. Just 15 seconds left on the man-up opportunity. Sherry. And now Vang. That's intercepted. And pardon me, it was 50 seconds left when I said that a couple of seconds ago on the man-up opportunity. So the Saints still with some time here and a fresh possession clock, trying to take it all the way in. Excellent stick check. No whistle, and the Blue Devils get it right back. And that will be a whistle going to Lawrence Tech. That was a beautiful job to get back and hustle. This game is predicated so much on those hustle plays that can make such a difference. And the Blue Devils faced relatively no pressure there on the man-up opportunity for Siena Heights. And Patterson is back out on the field. Here she is right on cue with the ball. They've been calm. They've been in control, and they've been poised for the majority of this first half. Looking like a different crew right now, and they're hoping that's the case in WAC play. Ooh, that skipped off the foot, though, but Sherry right on cue, kind of in a fortuitous position to get it back. Finds Layer. She has 2 goals and an assist today. Winding down this first half, under 5 minutes to go now. Looking that time in front, unable to get a clean shot off is Van Buren. See if Siena Heights can piece together some sort of a run to close out this half. Or can the Blue Devils extend the lead? The end of halves are so big in this sport, particularly with Lawrence Tech's season so far. Kind of feels like they've been able to piece together runs the end of first halves, but games have slipped away towards the end of the second. Dangerous pass through the middle there. Ground ball. It's going to go to Siena Heights. Last time we saw this Lawrence Tech team, they ended up letting one slip away at the end against Benedictine College. Lost that one 16-11. But we're in it all the way through until the, I want to say, final 4 or 3 minutes of the game. They were not happy afterwards. Went on a spring break trip, picked up their first one against Ave Maria, but ultimately went 1-2 down there in Florida. Played one up in Ohio. Hopefully they'll have some bright faces going into the locker room here. On defense, nice double team, but a foul. Haven't had a free position shot in a while. There felt like a bevy of them in the first few minutes. It's not lining up here. It'll be the Saints on their 5th free position of the afternoon. It's a 7-3 Lawrence Tech lead. They'll pull it back out. Double comes, clipped off a stick and into the back of the net. Shot there from Sophia Kopicki, the Grosse Pointe, Michigan native. That's her first of the season. Three minutes and 2 seconds left in this first half of play. Now a 7-4 Lawrence Tech lead. These runs can happen in a jiffy. We'll see if Siena Heights can get on a quick one here. Just a 3-goal difference. That's nothing in this sport. So who can have a nice final 3 minutes? Could loom large heading into the second half of play. Cindy Hill's team has had a pretty decent recovery after that 3-0 start for Lawrence Tech. A couple of quick goals in the opening minutes, had 2 within the first 5. And that felt like just what the doctor ordered up for Lawrence Tech. Did a really nice job in terms of possession in the beginning of the game. And as per usual, that's weighed pretty large so far. Another dangerous, kind of a lazy pass there for Siena Heights, but a nice stick check to recover that time. Now it's up in the air. Barnwald trying to get it back. It's going to go to Siena Heights. Barnwald came up with the interception, but didn't see the oncoming defender right behind her. That was Alexis Nicole, who's done a nice job defensively and offensively today. Kristen Delicos now, the Warrenton, Virginia native, and the freshman for Siena Heights with a crossfield pass. Layer tag there with the foul. Nicole, nice job to filter her to the outside from Barnwald. Slide. Gonna get a whistle here. Looks like this is gonna bring up a free position again for Siena Heights.
Under 2 minutes remaining, your Blue Devils lead the Saints 7-4.
It's a 7-4 Blue Devil lead. With 1 minute and 42 seconds left in this first half. Roughly. And now a free position opportunity coming up. A little bit of a delay. Blue Devils trying to limit these. There's another one in the back of the net for Siena Heights. Charging right in there That was Samantha Paulowski with her 12th goal of the season, matching last year's total. The Blue Devils want to talk things over. It's a 7-5 Lawrence Tech lead with a quick 2-0 run for the Saints. They've gathered some momentum, and I talked about how big and potential good ending for either side could be to this first half. It's 7-5 Blue Devils. You're watching Blue Devil Women's Lacrosse on LTSN from Farmington Hills, Michigan, and Harrison High School. We'll take a quick breather. Welcome back to LTSN. Paulowski's second goal of the game. 1:47 to go in this first half. Paulowski with now 13 on the season, eclipsing last year's total of 12. Made a quick mistake on that prior to the break. Blue Devils scoop up that ground ball. And now they're looking to answer back out of the timeout. Here's Gagnon. And a Gagnon with 2 goals and 3 assists today. A 5-point first half. Moving in is Sherry, a bouncer. That goes over top. It's going to stay with Lawrence Tech. Tegan Layer nearest to it off the shot. Whoever's closest to the ball after a shot, that team takes possession, thus making hustle so important in this game. Here's an oncoming cutter. Looks like Katie Waits, the impressive freshman from Milford. 7 goals in the season. Here's Mentowski navigating traffic. She had it stick checked away. Now a dangerous pass through here, and a battle for it ensues. Still loose. Barnwald over there trying to gather it up. Desperately couldn't. Who will this go to? We're going to give it back to Lawrence Tech. 36 seconds left in the first half. Can the Blue Devils get a late goal? Moving in Van Buren, bouncer. And able to gobble that up is Elizabeth Elliott. So that might do it for a first half chance on the Lawrence Tech side, unless they can force a turnover here. 15 seconds left. Trying to quickly rush up the sideline. Oh, Gagnon thought she had forced the turnover there. Just 4 seconds left. Just 2 seconds, and that'll do it for the first half of play. 7-5, the lead after 1 half of play from Farmington Hills. Lawrence Tech in the lead. They get off to a 3-0 start, a 2-0 run to wrap up that first half from the Saints. We'll see who can have the edge in the upcoming second half play. You won't want to miss it. Just a 2-goal difference in the first game of the WLAX conference season. Both of these teams trying to turn their years around. Blue Devils 1-6, Siena Heights 1-5, but hoping this will be a tale of 2 efforts. We'll have the second half coming up for you after the break. Welcome back to LTSN. Blue Devils up 7-5 after one half of play. Anna Gagnon with a 5-point first half, couple of goals and an assist. Tegan Layer had 2 goals and assists. Kaylee Patterson had 2 in the early goings. A nice start with the 1-2 combination of Layer and Gagnon. But Siena Heights ended that first half on a quick 2-0 run. Alexis Nicole, Samantha Paulowski with a nice ending to that first half. A couple of free position shots. Blue Devils will want to limit that in the second. Did a nice job with possession in that opening half. And they're going to give it back to Siena Heights here. Block reset, we have flipped sides, and ready to go, and now we go right back to Lawrence Tech. Looks like Patterson went down at the midfield. It was a quick, electric, confident, composed start for the Blue Devils. Can they get back to that here? Gagnon working with it. Layer will move into her spot, and they'll get organized on the attack for the first time in this second half. Up 7-5. A 2-goal lead in the opener in WLAX conference play. Sherry moving it around. Here's Van Buren. She gets knocked down with a hard cross check. That will certainly bring up the free position shot and the first of this second half. Devils rarely shoot those. She'll have to find Layer instead. That's some exquisite pieces of artwork in the first half of those free position shots. That's a goal from Gagnon. Give her 6 points on the day now. And the Blue Devils are up 8-5. Some nice work there. Tic-tac-toe passing. And it looks like it was Tegan again on the assist. So that combination continues.
Scored by number 24, Anna Gagnon. Assisted by number 17, Tegan Lair.
Gagnon has the hat trick. Layer has 2 assists. And it's 8-5 Blue Devils. Jason Ross Jr. back with producer Ali Hadi. Alex up top on the camera. And head coach Marianne Meltzer told me before this one that her team is certainly looking at this as a, I guess you could call it a new birth and a new life and a new season. Getting WLAX play underway. Just 1-6 on the year, but up 8-5 right now. Second half getting underway here. Siena Heights, their first possession. Alexis Nicole, the Portage, Michigan native, who had a couple of goals in that first half. Should move it over now, advancing in front. Sealed off there was Natalie Williams, the junior from South Lyon. Catherine Tapia, she scored in that first half. Watched by Axie Vang at the right wing. Still 45 seconds to work with. Blue Devils up 8-5. Nicole will give it up, then move off the ball. Natalie Williams, ground ball, and the Blue Devils scoop it up on the caused turnover. They did an excellent job with that in the opening half of play, and we saw them score quite a few goals and get quite a few possessions off of it. Now moving ahead, Gabby Larkin, 5 goals, 10 assists on the season. A team leading 10 assists. Moving down the left wing there, and we get a whistle. Free position coming up. See what they go to here. Looks like they actually thought about shooting it there for a second with Van Buren, but she was closed on. So some nice patience there. And now here's the roll dodge from Sherry moving in. The bounce pass, and a shot that whipped wide right. A hectic sequence there. Looks like the Blue Devils are going to come away with it to keep possession. Yellow card here. this is going to be a penalty on Larkin. Yeah, Larkin got a yellow, so the man-up opportunity for Siena Heights. Still feeling out how these refs are calling it. Blue Devils have done just a splendid job of forcing pressure. There's the turnover. Excellent read from Layer, and now she'll advance shorthanded. Last time Siena Heights had the man-up opportunity, absolutely no pressure the Blue Devils faced. It was a splendid defensive job as we saw there, and now they can just kind of work it around and kill this off. Gagnon just probe along that 20-yard line near spot. 66 seconds to just blow off here. Get a bit of a breather and get the man back on the field. Now in the exposition, they'll look for an opportunity. There's a turnover. Looks like Van Buren gave it away. Now up ahead. Cut from underneath that time. And looks like Nicole over there. So Siena Heights with the possession back and the man up. They just gave Barnwald a yellow as well. They did, so now 2 men over in front of the scores table for Lawrence Tech. And this could set up an opportunity for Siena Heights. Down 8-5. Blue Devils have scored so far in this second half. There's the turnover. Pick off that time. And galloping the other way goes Brooke Heptich, the freshman, on the back defense for Lawrence Tech. And she's going to get fouled. Nice job to move up under pressure there. Gets it to Patterson, the Grand Blanc, Michigan native with a nice move, showing off her speed. Had it stick checked away from behind. Able to scoop it back up. We have a player down, grabbing her head. It's a Saint on the right side of the goal. There was no call. A lot of whistles over the past few minutes, and players down. And the intensity is up, the physicality is up. Although obviously there is essentially no physicality in the women's game. And that's why we have a couple of players over in front of the scores table right now for Lawrence Tech. And walking off the field here. Still trying to make out that number. Looks like Skylar Park for Siena Heights. That is Skylar. She appears to be all right, but will walk off. Siena Heights will keep the possession here. Bit of a choppy last few minutes. Almost 5 minutes into this second half of play. Blue Devils with the possession, rather. Pardon me on that last call. And now trying to work her way away from traffic is Katie Waits. Mentioned how impressive she's been so far. A couple of real breakout performances for Waits. Excellent in transition. Really poised for a freshman with the stick. Here's Layer. She's been quite poised so far as well. Finds Gagnon in front. And that's been the 1-2 combo so far. Nice reaction stick save. That time made from Elizabeth Elliott, the sophomore, between the pipes for Siena Heights. Ground ball at the midfield. Blue Devil went down. Siena Heights still has it. Natalie Williams. Natalie Williams, daughter of Barry and Cheryl Williams, business major, has a goal in every game this season. Back-to-back goals Back-to-back games with at least 2 goals, and there's one poured in for the Saints, and now it's an 8-6 game. That was Jenna Somerville. Somerville's 11th goal of the season. Clarkston, Michigan native. I'm just going to give that goal to Tapia. So Catherine Tapia is with the goal there. So her second of the day now. Scratch that on Somerville. And Tapia with her 7th goal of the season. She had a hat trick versus Trine University earlier this month. Now with 2 goals today, 1 away from that 3-goal total. She has an assist as well, so 3 points overall. You reverse that goal back one more time. It was, in fact, Somerville. So give her 11 goals in the season now. Former All-State player in high school at Clarkston High School. I mentioned she scored 4 of the team's 7 goals versus Ohio Northern in that loss. Back-to-back games with only 7 goals for Siena Heights. It's an 8-6 game now. Pawlowski also with 2. Alexis Nicola is 2 as well. So 4 different goal scorers for the Saints. But here are the Blue Devils trying to move in. Smentowski to Sherry. Now they'll get this set up. Very motion-oriented. And kind of a pass-first offense. I guess you could describe it for Lawrence Tech. They are pretty patient. They have a select decreased presence of Anna Gagnon. They give it away that time. Aquinas and the Lawrence Tech men's team's getting warmed up over on the sidelines right now. That'll be the second of our doubleheader here on LTSN. It's a 3:30 p.m. Eastern time start. Here's a turnover, and Sherry can walk in. Gagnon, 6-point day, finds a cutter. There's a shot coming in that time from Katie Waits, looking for her first of the afternoon. That's clipped off a stick and wide left. I mentioned this Blue Devil team lost 205 points in production last year as they were just reading these passes so well right now. A lot of dangerous ones up the middle, though. We've seen lazy passes from the Siena Heights team, and that has certainly been a factor in why Lawrence Tech has been able to pick these passes off. Those passes up the middle of the field, you often call them high reward, but high risk. They do get it back here, and now on the right wing, working as Kristen Delico. She'll walk behind the net, find Somerville, who did score the last goal for Siena Heights. She will wrap around the net and put it right past Hagen. 2 straight for Somerville, and it's a 1-goal game. 8-7, the Blue Devil lead now. So on their heels. Will head coach Marianne Meltzer call a timeout? She will. So head coach Marianne Meltzer calls timeout. Blue Devils only up 1 now. 8-7 the lead after Somerville scores back-to-back goals. And she has 12 now, the Clarkston, Michigan native. And we'll send you to a quick breather here on LTSN. Blue Devils call a timeout, only up 1. 8-7 the score. First WAC matchup of the season, and it is a hotly contested affair. Welcome into LTSN. Blue Devils clinging on to an 8-7 lead. They struck first in this second half. But now back-to-back goals from Jenna Somerville. And the Clarkston, Michigan native has made this one very, very interesting. Can the Blue Devils snap the Saints' quick 2-0 run? Nice job to get the possession right off the bat. Possession will be so key. Can't understate that in this second half of play. Bit of a runway here. Moving down his layer. Holds up. Tegan Layer. Layer with 2 goals today and 2 assists. Howell, Michigan native, will orbit around the net. Finds it open. Walking in front, it was Katie Waits, and she's on the board. The freshman with her 8th of the season. She's been spectacular, certainly a player full of potential and promise for this Blue Devil team. Out of Milford, Michigan native, the psychology major, Huron Valley High School. Layer picks up another assist. Katie Waits is on the board. Layer with 5 points, one of 2 players with 5 or more points today. Gagnon with 3 goals and 3 assists. Certainly in the realm of possibility that Gagnon, who has eclipsed the 30-point mark today, could maybe get up to 30 goals today. 5'5" junior from Grand Haven has been such a crease presence. All WLAX first team last year, an All-American last season. And they forced another turnover. If the Blue Devils win today, that is an area where you point to. There's no doubt about that. Here's one of the Barnwald sisters moving in. There is Abby. Now she'll scan the vicinity. Finds Layer, picking up pace in the X position. The goalie will face her. Gagnon in front, and that couldn't quite get on the stick. Siena Heights get its back, but under intense pressure. Able to loop it down that far sideline. That bounced out, and the Blue Devils get the possession back. Nice job to just suffocate the Saints there. Defensive rides have been brilliant. We'll ask head coach Marianne Meltzer about that after the game. You can catch all the post-game coverage on the various LTU Athletics social media channels, along with the LTU Sports Report next Monday on Fox Sports Detroit. Gagnon behind the net this time. She's typically in front. Here's Kaylee Patterson, the hat trick for Kaylee Patterson, the sophomore. Gets the lead back up with a quick 2-0 run. 10-7 Lawrence Tech now. So out of that timeout, I don't know what head coach Marianne Meltzer said to her team, but she's one of the more inspirational, energetic coaches in the conference, and her resume shows it. This Blue Devil team, a national championship run a couple of years ago, a semifinal run last year, and they're looking to get back there. Despite the 1-6 start, they hope this is a different season. A quick 2-0 run at the break, up 10-7 with 20 minutes left in this second half of play. We'll go to a quick break on LTSN as head coach Cindy Hill now wants to talk things over on the Siena Heights side of things. Welcome back to LTSN, your home for Blue Devil Athletics, on a pretty nice, clear, crisp day in Farmington Hills, Michigan. 10-7 the score in favor of Lawrence Tech. 20 minutes and 43 seconds to go in this second half of play. And Blue Devils on a run. That's what merited that timeout from head coach Cindy Hill on the Siena Heights side of things. Katie Waits scored, then Kaylee Patterson netted her third of the day. Now an important draw. A ground ball off the draw. A battle for it. And one of the goal scorers for Siena Heights today, Samantha Pawlowski, emerges, and she'll head towards and inside of the restricting line. To Natalie Williams. Beats the defender topside and scores. Natalie Williams with a nice face dodge there. Got past Sherry and put it past Corrigan. It's back to a 2-goal game.
Hey, Gabe just texted me and said he's stopping at a gas station. You guys want any snacks or drinks? Can I get a burger?
Can I get some water? Thank you. So welcome back to LTSN, a 10-8 Blue Devil lead. Now after the nice move from Skylar Parker, and it's just under 20 minutes to go in this second half of play. Back to a 2-goal game. First WLAC matchup of the season.
2018, right? You wrong. Unless they stop the clock at the time and I didn't.
Siena Heights off to a 1-5 start on a 3-game losing streak. They certainly remember the 19-3 defeat that the Blue Devils served them up last season. And that was the lone regular season matchup. Then these two teams collided in the first round of the WLAC tournament. Well, it's obviously a different season now. Both of these teams have lost big production from last year offensively, and that at times has been the key struggle for both of these sides and only have one win. Katie Waits looking for her second goal of this one. Siena Heights, as they forced the cause turnover there, lost Taylor Schwartz and Marissa Sereno last year to graduation. That was 142 combined points between the two of them. On the Blue Devils side, and they lost Ashley Collins, who's now on the coaching side. So they haven't completely lost Collins. They still have her input and excellent insight in the game. But they also lost Isabel Vickers to graduation. Vickers had 64 goals. It was 205 combined points between those two last year. Collins' vision was sensational. So Gagnon with obviously a big role this season. She leads the team in points and goals. Sherry at the point. Kind of an odd passing sequence there. This will stay with Lawrence Tech. 59 seconds on the possession clock still.
1833 counting.
A few years into the possession clock now on the women's side of things. First year with it on the men's side. Again, we'll have the men's matchup coming up for you after this one. Here's a free position shot coming up for, looks like Kaylee Patterson. This could be her fourth of the season if she opts to shoot it. Fourth of the game, rather, if she opts to shoot it. Excellent save. Made that time
1820 counting.
Elizabeth Elliott with the stick save. Crossfield pass, dangerous, but they connect. Who can get their first WLAC victory? There's a big, that looks like a cross check at the just outside of that restricted line by Axie Vang.
Clock still running? Is the clock still running?
So Siena Heights with the possession here, and Lawrence Tech defending. It's a 10-8 Lawrence Tech lead. A loose ball in front, now behind the cage. Just going to stay with Siena Heights. The Saints fans have traveled well today. We're going to stoppage in the clock at 16:55. Blue Devils also in search of their first home victory of the season. 0-4 so far. Went 5-0 on the home turf last year. For the most part, this has looked like an inspired performance. Head coach Marianne Meltzer told me that not having those 5-minute mental lapses will be key. It doesn't feel like they've had one of those so far today. But it's been a hard-fought one, as anticipated. Got off to a 3-0 start. There's a nice dodge. Back to the top. Somerville looking to beat the opponent again. That whipped high over top the right crossbar. This is going to set up a free position. Somerville at the top. Jenna Somerville, rebound, bounces out, and they score. Back to a one-goal game. Siena Heights answers back out of the timeout. It's been a game of chess so far out of those timeouts, and both teams have done well out of them, and Siena Heights able to put it in the back of the net there.
Let me know when you get the time.
10-9 now. The Siena Heights team lost to Ohio Northern 14-7 last week. Trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Back to a one-goal game. The intensity is palpable. There's an important draw win. Samantha Polowski's been a threat so far. She was looking to tie it up there for the first time today. Blue Devils have never trailed in this game. That was Nicole's third goal of the day for Siena Heights to make it 10-9. Blue Devils have had some close games this season. Started the year off against a couple of top-ranked opponents. Lost to number 3 ranked Cumberland's 13-11. Then went up against a good Calvin College team. Lost 13-10. And 11-7 at Georgetown. The first one was really tough against Cumberland's, still the number 3 ranked team in the country, and a really good opponent that has beaten some good teams this year. The Blue Devils control behind their own net here, looking to clear. High pass. We'll try to track this down. Axie Vang able to pick it up off the bounce. Burst through traffic, then lost it. We'll get a whistle. This will stay with Lawrence Tech. Siena Heights still ranked 10th in the country, so this is the 10th top 10 ranked opponent in the first 7 matchups for Lawrence Tech. Patterson went down hard there.
45? At 48. 48. When do you start? Do you start when they first run or at the whistle?
It depends. If it's whistled, yeah.
Lawrence Tech with the 10-9 lead. And looking to move in. I believe they gave Skylar Parks a yellow card for that. So man-up opportunity for Lawrence Tech here. Skylar Parks given the yellow card. Both of these teams hoping that today can be a spark plug to turn their seasons around in conference play. I mentioned both of these teams earned their lone victories against Ave Maria University down in Florida. Looks like we're still sorting out the paperwork here. And now we're underway. Patterson to Layer. Layer's done well operating back there, kind of quarterbacking back there behind the net. Now she move in to the left wing. Patterson was looking in front that time in a patch of space was Gabby Larkin with 5 goals on the season. Now Sherry. Forced outside to Waits to Sherry. In front. Nice catch. Oh, but the shot clipped over top off the stick and trying to track it down against contact. Taken down again there was Patterson. This is going to stay with Lawrence Tech. This is an opportunity in front. That time Gabby Larkin. Katie Waits. Another timeout called. And we'll go to a break. Blue Devils up 10-9. Second half of play. You're watching Blue Devil Athletics on LTSN. Some more women's lacrosse action coming up next in the first of our doubleheader. Blue Devils looking to hang on and grab their first WLAC victory of the season. Welcome back to LTSN. Halfway through this second half, Blue Devils clinging on to a 1-goal, 10-9 lead in the first WLAC collision of the season. Early 1 p.m. start for this one. Blue Devils with the possession here and hoping to extend this lead out of the timeout. They've been great out of timeout so far. Katie Waits accelerates. Katie Waits to the net. She'll back it up, put it to the X position. Over there finding Gabby Larkin. Larkin directing traffic and a whistle. So set up a free position here. Big opportunity. Blue Devils did well on these in the early goings. And that was with 4 seconds left on the possession clock, so kind of a bailout. 14:20 to go in the second half. They opt to pass and a bit of a miscommunication. It spills loose over to the near sideline. And it'll go back to the Saints. They like to pass for those and look for the best option that they feel they can possibly get. Oftentimes the passing is crisp and succinct, but not that time around. And now the Saints will work back the other way, hoping to tie things up. They've had trouble in this area of the field so far. Pretty young team, only 3 seniors. Once again, some challenges. And this is going to go back to Lawrence Tech. I believe they called a cradling violation there. So this will go back to Lawrence Tech. Still plenty of time to turn these seasons around for both sides. 9 games left for Lawrence Tech. Here's Patterson, and a nice save made there off the left knee of Elizabeth Elliott. Barnwald, another nice job. Barnwald has really wreaked havoc on this Saints team. They're out. Here's Gagnon. Layer. Gagnon. Over top her stick, but back to Ashley Sherry. Now off the screen, but a whistle. Free position coming up for Ashley Sherry. "12 minutes to go in this second half. Sherry with 1 goal today. 14 on the season. Discussion between the officials over there with Tegan Layer and one of the Saints. That's the halt right now. Looks like we're ready to go. So Ashley Sherry getting set up, trying to get this lead in a bit more of a comfortable position for Lawrence Tech as the game continues to dwindle down. And once again, they opt to pass out of it. So Tegan Layer. Layer is such a good communicator. She'll feed it over to Katie Waits. Certainly has a lot of great older players to learn from. And now she'll get her opportunity to free position. A lot of people will say, you know, you should take these, you should shoot these, but every team has their own philosophy, and we'll see what they decide to do here. There was one where it looked like they were going to take it, but then the Saints collapsed quite well, and once again, they do back it out as expected. Sherry galloping with intent. Splits the defense and was taken down. So the free position coming up here. There's a whip shot at the net, and Sherry scores. It's a 2-goal lead for Lawrence Tech. 11-9 now. Her second of the season, or second of the game. Stretched at 12-9. Welcome back to LTSN. 10:36 to go in this matchup between Siena Heights and Lawrence Tech. It's a 12-9 Lawrence Tech lead after Sherry's second of the game. Ashley Sherry from Minnesota. She has been a really good step up for this team in her sophomore year. One of the bright spots in this 1-6 start. This could be the start of a new day, though, for Lawrence Tech. They can get going and hang on to this lead. A 2-0 run after Siena Heights cut it down 2-1. Once again, a nice job out of the timeout. Van Buren ahead to Patterson. Katie waits to Tegan Layer. Sherry flashed in front momentarily. Gagnon now there. Van Buren cutting in. Sherry a shot and a save made by Elliott. Another dangerous pass up the middle of the field. This is bouncing, charging in to scoop that up. Now having trouble with it, though, is Maddie Barnwald. One of the better defenders on this Blue Devil team, one of the key players on this group. A senior, one of just a few seniors on the roster. This Blue Devil team had to adjust to that. Obviously, the losses of Collins and Vickers, and then naturally trying to figure out where people are and overcome those hurdles. They look pretty settled in this one. As mentioned earlier, they haven't really had one of those 5-minute lapses like they had the last time we saw them against Benedictine College. Coming off the spring break trip and looking to capitalize. Here's Katie Waits. We get a whistle. 8:54 left in the second half. So now Waits for the free position shot. Waits his 8-meter, walks in, shoots! One of the first time that they've done that today. Rebound spills out, and now they have it back. Katia Newlier to Bella Van Buren, the freshman. Will find the sophomore. And now back over to another sophomore in Sherry. Sherry will swap places with Newler. Behind the net, Katie Waits. Looking in front, that's broken up and well out of her net. Now facing pressure, trying to get back there. Another free position coming up, but the Blue Devils up 12-9. Nearing the 7-minute mark of this second half. There's a goal. It's Katie Waits. Once again, Katie getting it done. Milford, Michigan native with her second of the day. 9th goal of the season, now 1 away from 10. Katie Waits has been really good, kind of had her own little breakout performance right before we played Benedictine College. Blue Devils lost to Georgetown. There's the announcement for Katie. Welcome back to LTSN. Katie Waits with that last goal. I mentioned she had that breakout performance right before Benedictine College against Georgetown. Scored all 3 of her first 3 career goals against Benedictine. So she's been one of the bright spots so far, definitely. And as I mentioned earlier, a player with plenty of potential moving forward. Nice showing today here at Farmington Hills Harrison High School. This will be the site of the Blue Devils spring football game next month. Looking forward to that one. We'll have a broadcast of that for you here on LTSN, our first ever spring football game broadcast. Next up, our doubleheader, 3:30 p.m. The start of the men's lacrosse game. Jam-packed next week includes a broadcast of women's lacrosse on Wednesday at 4 p.m. The Blue Devils continue their schedule under head coach Marianne Meltzer. Now in her 3rd season guiding the Lawrence Tech women's lacrosse team. Blue Devils moving in here. Mentioned NAIA national champion runner-up a couple of seasons ago. WLAX co-conference champions. Last year they finished 2nd behind Indiana Tech. Certainly looking forward to that matchup. That'll be a big rivalry that's really brewed among all sports with Lawrence Tech and Indiana Tech over the past few years now. Indiana Tech was able to take the conference tournament championships in basketball on both the women's and men's sides. That rivalry continued on the women's side, certainly. And it's been certainly a growth, that rivalry. Blue Devils team looking to beat Madonna again this season. Throttled Madonna a couple of times in the basketball court on the women's side, but then it was the Madonna men's basketball team that was the obstacle that the men's team on the Lawrence Tech side just could not overcome at the end of that season. Get offsetting calls here. Ashley Collins also joining the staff on the women's lacrosse side. Ram Elwell, his 2nd season as an assistant coach. Cindy Hill joined by Suzanne Snow on the Siena Heights side of things. 13-9 Lawrence Tech lead with under 6 minutes to go in this second half. A little NCAA tournament update for you guys, you basketball fans out there. LSU has beaten Maryland by 2, so they'll move on. See if the Spartans can defeat Minnesota tonight and potentially face LSU. A couple of Virginia natives on the Siena Heights team. Virginia had a scare in the first half yesterday. Some thought that they were maybe in trouble once again as a 1 seed, but ended up pulling that out relatively easily. A couple of the top teams, though, in the tournament having some troubles in their, at least in the first half. And that isn't unusual, facing a team that you haven't seen before. You equate that to the lacrosse field right now, and this Blue Devil team went up against a few teams that they've seen in past years, but teams that they don't typically see in the conference schedule, and very tough teams at that. This is the 5th different top 10 opponent that Lawrence Tech has seen so far. If Siena Heights were to lose that one, that certainly wouldn't be the case anymore. They would drop to 1-6 with the loss here. Officials still sorting out the paperwork. We'll take a quick breather here on LTSN. Blue Devils up 13-9, under 6 to play. You're watching Blue Devil Women's Lacrosse on your home for LTU Athletics. Welcome back to LTSN after that rule book delay. Interesting hiatus, but we are back and ready to go. The Blue Devil is up 13-9. Trying to hang on, under 6 to go in this second half of play. A 1-0 start, and WLAC play would feel huge for this team. Coach Marianne Meltzer told me they were excited specifically to get today underway and get on this field and get WAC play underway. They came out with confidence flowing, and that reflected on the scoreboard with a quick 3-0 start. It's been back and forth. Siena Heights has pulled within one at times, but the Blue Devils have never trailed in this one. It's also never been tied. So here's Layer. Flips it out to the left wing. Van Buren had troubles with it. Under 5.5 to go now. Siena Heights would have to piece together a run that feels pretty difficult considering how this game has gone for them. They haven't scored 10 goals in a couple of weeks. They're at 9 right now. Trying to shift your way through traffic is Waits with 2 goals on the day. And so we get a whistle. And this will be Waits setting up for the 8-meter shot. Katie Waits in search of the hat trick. Five different Blue Devils have scored today. Gagnon leading the way with 3 goals and 3 assists, 6 points. Patterson has a 4-goal day. Awaiting the whistle is the freshman. Lines up, an intense look on her face. And ready to go. Waits, walks in, opts to shoot it. I believe that went off the crossbar. Now trying to clear, but doing so maybe unsuccessfully. The Saints, it was unsuccessful, and Sherry has it right back. These possessions are crucial for the Saints right now. Last-minute desperation effort. They were 13-5 last year. A loss today would give them more losses than they had last year, already 7 games in. Waits. She's been an integral part of this second half. Van Buren feeds Gagnon. So good with that stick. Turns into traffic. The nice slide from the Siena Heights side. We get a whistle. And it's going to go to Siena Heights. .332 to go in this second half. Couple of hours into this battle. Who can emerge victorious? Samantha Paulowski, she's been good today for the Saints. But now they give it right back. Barnwald, the Siena Heights sideline yelling for pressure on the ball. Barnwald with a relatively easy walk through the midfield. Advances it up ahead. Gagnon can drop it back for her 1-2 partner in crime, Tegan Layer. Her and Tegan go back and forth here. They hooked up, whether it was Lear scoring or Gagnon scoring. It was about 4 goals in a row at one point. It was either the assist or a goal from one of those two. Now here's Abby Barnwald. Over to Bella Van Buren. Youngster to youngster there. Van Buren back out for Ashley Sherry. Encroaching on her there is Alexis Nicole. The Devils have done well in terms of the possession in the second half, and that was another key part of the success in the early goings, was the possession. Here's Sherry, stopping as the slide comes over. Now Layer. Behind for Gabby Larkin in front there, and a nice sprawling save. And back with it here is Alexis Nicole, the 5'6" sophomore, advancing ahead quickly to Samantha Paulowski. Through the midfield they go. Having trouble with it there was Kristen Delacose, the Warrenton, Virginia native, but Siena Heights able to get it back off the ground ball. Here's Delacose again. 2 goals on the season. I mentioned just one of two players from out of state moving in with speed here and scoring. That was Catherine Tapia, a Saline, Michigan native. With 1 minute and 14 seconds left, Tapia puts it in the back of the net. Her third goal of the day. And it's 13-10. So obviously this possession could pretty much do it, barring a turnover. Most important draw of the day for Siena Heights, and would still have to be somewhat magical for them to find a way to come back here. They'd have to force some turnovers. They haven't been the best in terms of transitioning up the field cleanly today, so Lawrence Tech, for the most part, with the advantage here and just trying to hang on. Winning this draw, you think for all intents and purposes could do it. Here it is. Still loose. Still a duel for it. And there it is, picked up by Abby Barnwald. That was big, and Barnwald can gallop into the sunlight as the Blue Devils try to wind down this clock. Shot clock isn't moving right now for whatever reason. They might try to stop the game for this. I don't think the officials notice. And meanwhile, Tegan Layer is rolling. My apologies, under 90 seconds to go. We had some issues with the clock there. 44 seconds left. 34 seconds. Van Buren. Low angle shot, and that'll do it. So Bella Van Buren, the shot clock off, makes it 14-10. And that'll do it for today. 14-10 the final. From Farmington Hills Harrison, Blue Devils get their second win of the season. They're 1-0 in WAC play, most importantly. 2-6 overall. And next Wednesday, they'll be right back at it. We'll have that broadcast for you at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The Blue Devils will continue their schedule, taking on Lourdes. The Lourdes team that has struggled in the early going, so a chance to potentially get on a run here for Lawrence Tech. Head coach Marianne Meltzer should hopefully be satisfied with this one. Never had really any of those mental lapses that marred them through the first 6 games or so. Once again, the Blue Devils take control, take command, and take the victory. Final score 14-10 and improved to 2-6 on the season. 1-0 in WAC play. We'll sign off for now. I'm Jason Ross Jr. alongside producer Ali Hadi. Have a wonderful afternoon.